with that tie again to Green Bay, but this is one that they wanted. Offensively sound, but defense continues to be a sieve as Carolina draws back to even 500. All right, back in studio with the guys. Emery, we sat there and watched this one together. It was Dallas' performance that we've seen throughout the entire of the season. Most total yards as an offense in the NFL coming to this one, most yards allowed. We see that represented in this final score. What did you make of the total performance here from Dallas?
Well, the offense is fine. Defensively, they can't stop anybody. I thought they played fine defensively early in the game, but as the game wore on, that's when Carolina started finding confidence and they started finding plays down the field. They let a dead team come back to life, and that right in and of itself is not playing winning defense. You want to play your best defense in critical situations. I thought this was handled better by Carolina, more so than Dallas in that regard. And when you talk about the Panthers in this game and how they were able to, find life and make things happen, they always had an answer. Dallas refused to put this team away, and that's why they lost this ball game.
Plain and simple for me, the Rico Dowdle revenge game.
Yeah.
He made it known that this game was personal for him, and I appreciate the honesty because oftentimes when a player is playing against his former team, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just the next best game. He said this was personal, and guess what he went out and did? 183 yards on the ground, 56 through the air, over 200 yards of total offense, and a touchdown.
That's off the career high 206 last week in his first start as a Panther. So you do the math. This man is balling in his first two games.
Yes, Emery, you talked about the issues for the Cowboys defensively. It was more so about their inability to stop Rico Dowdle. Period. Nobody else. Number 5 was a madman today, and they needed him to be as such for Carolina to come back into this ball game. The Dallas Cowboys defensively, they will be the death of the Cowboys in terms of playoff hopes because their offense, without CD Lamb, they're still a playoff caliber offense. Without CD Lamb, Dak Prescott is still slicing opposing defenses. But because of their defense, it goes undone. It's almost like they're wasting quality offensive play because they can't get the necessary stops to win ball games like today. And it's unacceptable and it's annoying, but this is the life they're living in currently for the Dallas Cowboys. You got to try to outscore every team you play. It doesn't matter if you're playing against Bryce Young or Sam Young. It don't matter. You got to outscore whoever the opposing quarterback is.
I thought Steve Young was going to get a shout out.
No, Sam. Shouts out Sam.
We appreciate that as well. 216 rushing yards here, JJ. Yep. We oftentimes talk about the young quarterback's best friend being a run game that can do exactly what Carolina did in this matchup. But what sort of belief does this build in a young quarterback still trying to find it?
Well, it's huge, right? Because this is no Chuba Hubbard. And without Chuba, you were thinking, oh, boy, the Panthers are certainly about to struggle being with Rico Dowdle. That has not been the case these last couple of weeks. Rico Dowdle not only, of course, leading them in rushing, also in receiving. We saw Ted McMillan there in the end zone twice, but Rico Dowdle leading the Carolina Panthers in receiving against the Dallas Cowboys, which BMAC speaks to your point even more. You should be winning football games when the leading receiver is the running back for the other team. I want to shout out the Carolina Panthers, though, who for the first time since 2021 are at 500 this deep in the season. There was after week 2, the Panthers are 0-2. Yep. There was some question before that last drive by Bryce Young against the Arizona Cardinals about whether there could be another benching of Bryce Young and bring in Andy Dalton. And now they have turned things around, being at 500, a Carolina Panthers team, and I think we all believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win that division. But this is a Panthers team that can be competitive, that can win football games. So shout out to them and Dave Canales here in year 2.
And the crazy part is when you look at Rico Dowdle having this game, it shows you that they have a running game. They're not just running plays. So it doesn't matter who's the back there. They've found a way to scheme up run plays. And when you look at this division, seeing how the Falcons play tomorrow or whatnot, and you see how Carolina has found some life.
Carolina beat them 30-0.
Exactly. So now you look at Carolina, you look at this rest of the division. This is going to be interesting. We thought it was going to be Tampa Bay, but now we never know with this Carolina Panthers team. But I like how they are running the football, regardless of who's back there at tailback.
Some very clear splits emerging. 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road, but an even 500 this late in the season. We know Carolina fans will take that. More to come here on HQ as we take a look at Teteroa McMillan, most receiving touchdowns in a game by a rookie, too.
Say it with your chest.
In Panthers history.
Number 1 instigator right here.
Tet was standing alone in the end zone. Makes a couple plays in this one that end up being decisive in a 3.
Ready 5, take 5. Kyle, over to you.
Thank you very much, Amanda. I'm here with Nate,
Coach, Matt, and AP, and I'm Kyle, obviously. I didn't touch the ball, but you guys have dealt with a lot of guys who dropped the ball at the goal line. We've seen that this is a pandemic currently in the National Football League. What the hell's going on, guys? I'll let you guys take the floor.
Coach, why is that a pandemic?
It happened when I was playing.
Well, okay, that's 3. Okay, I listen, they're teaching moments. Okay, that's how I look at it. No one is more embarrassed when this happens than the player himself. There's no reason to make it even worse. So that's an embarrassing thing. I go back to the same thing. I've said this before. When I was in Plexico Burris, rookie year, we're in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Playing in Jacksonville, okay? And we're like, this is like week 8 or 9. Yeah. And he catches a ball across, we're up 20-0. His first target, he catches a ball.
Makes a difference.
I
Easy to teach in that moment.
Made it a teaching moment at the time, but he gets up, caught the ball. They're so like almost mad because it was like the first time he was targeted. Spiked the ball. Jacksonville takes it and runs. He's looking around, and then realized, oh, that's right, it's the NFL. I wasn't touched. And so he came to the sideline, and he kind of looked at me like, you know, like I think he was kind of mad with his first target, but he also said, you know I just screwed up. And so it's just like, I go, Plex. He goes, I know, it's not college. I go, okay. I said, just go. I said, so it is embarrassing, and I think the second one, again, we've seen this happen before. The week after, because everyone is AP, you notice. Yep. You sit there, and these are teaching moments around the league. When you get them on Monday morning, you say, listen, I said, listen, you know, you can't do this. The week before, you can't. Here it is. And then he does it.
Yeah.
And
I think, Coach, you hit on it, right? On Monday morning, that's the first thing you do is you look around the league and say, okay, what can I take away from the league as a teaching moment and a learning lesson for our team?
Yes.
Well, here's the problem. It's just back-to-back weeks. I'm like, well, somebody missed out on that.
I think that speaks to Jonathan Gannon's frustration on the sideline, right? Yeah. Because every team, for everybody who's listening and watching right now, every team has some kind of around-the-league tape. Of course. That they either do on Monday, Friday, Saturday morning. Usually it's twice a week. You show what happened on Monday, then there's a review of it Saturday morning. And I think, you know, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Jonathan Gannon had a tape like that. They're showing what happened with A.D. Mitchell the week before in Indianapolis, and then it happens in the game, and you're like, dude, come on. On top of that, they had that game slip away from them too.
No doubt.
And there were a lot of things that happened in the course of that game to lose the football game. So I think the frustration was there. I think, listen, it got away from him. We can talk about Jonathan's reaction to it and all that. Yeah. It got away from him. He felt terrible about how he handled it. I think he came forward.
And rightfully so.
Of course.
He was out of pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and Coach, I know you said it's only a couple of guys. How is this the pandemic? But you can fold into this conversation quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends who get a little loose with the ball towards the end zone, reaching for the goal line, and then all of a sudden it gets knocked out. Right. So my whole perspective on this is control. You know, it's fitting that Amanda came in from the – there's certain things that we can control as players. Yes. Listen, there's elements in this game, variables that we can't control, and sometimes coaches will forgive us for it. They'll be like, all right, that was out of your hands. Right. It still happened. Let's move on. But when a player gets a little too loosey-goosey with the ball, or he starts hot dogging, or he just decides to let the rock go before he crosses the plane, like that's on the player. And I feel like this, for all the players with my camera right here, hey, listen, there we go. Hey, it's better to celebrate with the ball in your hand. It just looks better. The pictures are going to be better. The photos are going to be better. When you blow it up and put it on the wall, it's going to look better. Just keep the rock in your hand and then do whatever you want from there.
Give it to an O-lineman.
Give it to him and make him do the big boy spike.
And then bang. But look, Matt and I were talking about this before we came on the air. I think it's like accidents happen within like a mile of your house. And you know, you start to get close to your house and you start thinking about what your next task is. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about like, I got to open that garage door and I got to make sure that